Look, if you clicked on this video, you're probably feeling like you need to change. And I get it. It's happened to me over and over again. Balancing all the chaos life throws at you is pretty exhausting, and we've all been there. But how would you feel if I told you that in 6 months from now, you're going to be in the exact same spot that you're currently in, stuck? Or you could choose to implement these simple steps and finally see your goals become reality. You'll be living more authentically and truly with purpose. In this video, I'm going to share with you the secrets to transforming your life in just 6 months. Let's get into it. I'm personally not that patient. Therefore, I like breaking my goals up into bite-sized 6-month chunks that allow me to work towards accomplishments that seem tangible, but also significant. It's important to keep this in mind moving forward. This is what will keep the magic of the momentum moving beyond our 6-month period. So, kind of taking this concept in mind, it really reminds me of my time in the military. During our basic training, we had a culminating event, which was a brutal timed 12-mile ruck march with a heavy pack on our back. But we didn't just jump straight into that. Therefore, we trained in phases, starting small, building gradually, and preparing for the larger challenge ahead. The same concept applies here. We're going to break the 6-month journey into a crawl, walk, run phase. So let's start with the crawl. Crawl phase. This is roughly 1 to 2 months. The common question most people will ask is, all right, where do I start? How do I begin? In this phase, you're actually going to begin at the end. This is building with the end in mind. If you begin without knowing what success looks like for you, you're going to lose your momentum and feel burnt out. So first, define your quantitative goals. Be specific and measurable. For me, as an entrepreneur, my goal was I want to start a business that generates $10K a month by the end of 6 months. Next, we have to identify our non-quantitative goals. This is the deeper why. So do this exercise of finding our big why. Ask yourself why. Why do you want to start a business to make 10K a month? Why do you want to make 10K a month? So I can quit my job if I want to. Well, why do you even want that option? Because I value freedom of time over everything else. My ultimate goal isn't actually money, it's freedom. Now, we got to list our big ticket items in order to achieve this goal. An example for me was starting a business. All right, I know I need to create an LLC, I need to have a business bank account, and I need to have a website, and I probably need to secure some sort of funding. If your goal is to run a marathon, this would be like signing up for the race, buying proper running shoes, maybe hiring a running coach to improve your running. Now, all this is important, but if you don't get some skin in the game, our previous why exercise really doesn't mean anything. So paying for this business coach or to invest in that marathon training program, this can be done, obviously we can sign up for these things and be done within a week or so. But every goal is a little bit different here, and it's important not to get stuck. Therefore, aim to complete the crawl phase by 1 month. Cool, so now you defined your end goal with meaning. You've built the foundation, and you've now identified and taken your first steps towards real progress. But your journey doesn't stop here. Therefore, let's move into the walk phase and keep that momentum going. Walk phase. This is roughly the 2 to 4 months. In this phase, you're not going to just build habits. You're building the network and systems needed that will carry you across the finish line. But to be effective, you really need kind of 3 things here. And I break this up into building your network, establishing your routines, and fine-tuning your progress and processes. So step 1, building your network. You've heard this before, okay? Your network is your net worth. Birds of feather flock together. You are the average of the 5 people you hang around most. And truth be told, these are all true. Understand that this is not just about making connections, but it's about immersing yourself in an environment of people actively doing what you want to do. Therefore, you're going to absorb the knowledge much quicker and faster than just trying to figure it all out alone. Here's an example when I was in college. I took 2 years of Korean language, and I truthfully felt like I didn't really know anything besides the bare minimum basics. But when I got the opportunity to study abroad in South Korea for just 3 months, I learned more through that immersion experience than I ever did in those 2 years. I understood better, I could speak better, I knew what was going on. This just showed me that surrounding yourself with like-minded people accelerates your growth exponentially, and we see this in lifetime. Number 2 is building a routine. Motivation is fleeting. Therefore, you need consistent routines with accountability partners to help keep you on track. My example is my daily business meetings with my business partner to strategize key actions we need to make our business successful. If your goal is running a marathon, you might have a running partner, every Tuesday or Wednesday to go on and run with each other. Now, step 3, fine-tune your process. As you gain experience, you'll identify gaps in your strategy, things that you weren't seeing when you're initially planning out. But instead of seeing them as obstacles, you need to view them as opportunities for refinement. Therefore, revise your action plan and address these gaps. An example would be like when I start my business, realizing, I need to build out a CRM integrated sales funnel before launching all my ads or making any products to give off. So my payoff now really is I've built a solid network and I've immersed myself in it. I've fine-tuned my strategies, and now I've started to identify key gaps that I need to close. But we're not done yet. Now it's time to move to the run phase, where you're actually going to start showcasing everything you've just now built off. Part 3, run phase. Now here is the run phase. This is month 5 and 6. This is where you're going to go all in. But remember, this isn't the end. Therefore, view this as the first step towards your bigger why that is driving this journey. Now, we're really looking at the fact that you've cemented in your habits by this point. Your routines need to be second nature. If you're building a business, you're consistently making sales or refining your products or having those weekly team meeting syncs. If you're preparing for a marathon, you're logging your weekly miles. You understand what you need to work up to in support of that marathon, or you're tracking your diet. Now, having these habits is great, but if you start letting complacency take over, you're going to easily start to see all your hard work unfold. So keep focused. Therefore, keep holding yourself accountable with regular KPI trackings, whatever that looks like in whatever goal setting you're keeping track of. Number 2 is your culminating event. Now it's time for the big reveal. The event you've been waiting for and working towards. For me, my example would be launching my business or making your 10K a month or running your marathon. But once this is done, remember, you're only getting started here. Keep in mind that we are building with the end in mind, aiming to tackle the big why we've identified earlier. And now it's important to celebrate your win at the end of the 6 months, but also you need to reflect on your growth and identify areas for improvement. This leads us to step 3. Set your next goal, because success isn't a destination, it's a journey and mindset. Therefore, unless you want to feel stagnant, it's critical that you set a new goal that brings you closer to living more authentically. Use the 6-month goal to build momentum and accumulate lessons that will carry you to your next big goal. So, in summary here, if you follow these steps, you'll no doubt have now built a lasting habit, gained relevant experience in your field or wherever you're trying to study or business, and you've identified gaps that you need to fulfill and get better at in the future. Keep refining your processes, leveling up your skills, building a life of continuous progress to make your personal why a reality. Now listen, everything you just learned has the power to transform your life in the next 6 months. So congratulations, go out there and get after it. But here's the catch. None of this will actually matter if you're running at full speed in the wrong direction. In my next video, I'm going to reveal why quitting wasn't just a smart move, but it was the best decision I ever made. I'll share how walking away from the so-called safe path sometimes can be a game changer, and that unlocked the freedom, success, and fulfillment I was chasing all along. Catch you on the next video, you guys.